77. There's Matt Johnson for the red team from Iowa State. And for the blue team, Rich Powers ranked number 1, undefeated in 19 matches. They've met a couple of times this year. Well, plenty of times in the past. They've been pretty even, but Powers has had the edge this year.
Well, last year it was Johnson picked the right match to win out of 4. He avenged 3 earlier losses and beat Powers, actually pinned Powers in less than 4 minutes in the NCAA semifinals.
Happened to catch him. Now there's that duck under try by Powers, who's a very good, slick wrestler on his feet. Johnson in the red from Iowa State. We'll see him again. These two teams certainly on Sunday next when Iowa State goes to UNI. And we'll have it for you on Iowa Public Television on Sunday at 4:30. Front headlock by Johnson. Likes that position down. Post the head if he can.
Let's go up. Stalemate.
Chad Crow, the official this meet, doesn't like it. Makes him get back up because it's not going anywhere. Stalemate.
Let's go, guys. Come on. Offense from there.
At Carver Hawkeye Arena on Iowa Public Television's primetime special tonight, National Wrestling Coaches Association All-Star Meet.
Johnson's a more straightforward, intense wrestler. You can predict a little bit more what Matt Johnson is going to do. Powers is kind of like lock him up and throw, create while you're out there. He has a great time while he's wrestling. He's been very successful at it.
Watch the 4.
This is Johnson successfully going under, trying to turn this into points if he can get it. He doesn't like the position yet. Now he comes across. Now if he gets the crossface, it looked like he would get it, but
look at that, how he came out with that.
Nice move by Powers. Well, that's why he's ranked number 1.
Well, he certainly didn't get that right there, but he came out and he prevented Johnson from getting it. And that's how Powers has been wrestling. If he doesn't get it, he usually ends up on top somehow. This time they ended up neutral.
Powers dropped down for a single leg, didn't get it either.
There, nice job. That was a nice setup. Now it's Johnson's turn to keep good position, get his hips down, try to put pressure down on Powers and not let him take him down and finish it. Right to the bottom.
Powers went to the other leg, and with a minute left in the first period, scores the first takedown of the match, leads 2-0.
You start. Ready to be facing him.
Well, this right here, in on the single leg, Powers looks to control him by getting him out of position so that he can drop down for the double leg. And he was successful.
Goes for the bars guard on the other side. And
this is where Powers really likes to wrestle. He's really getting that cradle down. He can put the best of them in cradles, and he likes to be on top.
Easy.
Ooh, that's easy. You can't do it much better than that. It looked like it was going to be hard.
Keep down.
Looked like it was.
Like I said, Powers is tough on top. He works the cradle, and he's been working it close to perfection throughout the last few years to the point where it's tough to stay out of it.
Time running down in the first period. Powers leads 2-0. Has the leg in. Johnson hasn't been able to do anything with him here.
What I like about Matt Johnson is his mental toughness. He showed it last year coming after 3 losses to Powers and grinding and fighting his way to the NCAA finals. He has shown that he belongs with the big-time wrestlers in the nation. He's a solid junior.
End of the period, 2-0. Rich Powers of the University of Northern Iowa. There's his coach, Don Briggs of UNI, here with Joel Greenlee, assistant coach.
Top man.
At the National Wrestling Coaches All-Star Meet in Iowa City. Powers starts right where he left the second period off because Johnson had choice and went down. To start the second 2-minute period, Powers leads 2-0, and he's still at work on the top.
Top man, I see it clinging. I got to see pinning combinations. I see it clinging a lot.
That's a warning against Powers on top.
Bottom of the set, top man.
Keep working.
This time, where's this going to go?
Well, that's interesting. I'd hate to predict.
Johnson
Oh, no, that was not a good call.
No. I don't know what's been called here. I guess he gave him a reversal. Now he has to give the takedown back, a reversal back. So we'll trade 2 for 2 here.
Still on the midline.
4-2 Powers. Johnson whizzes.
Both these wrestlers have the ability to throw from underhook, locked position. They both like to. Powers probably a little more.
Well, he threw there for 2. 6-3.
It's a good thing Johnson was on the edge of the mat there, because on that throw, he brought Johnson down close to his back.
So Powers again goes into the top position against Matt Johnson of Iowa State. In goes the leg for Powers.
You don't see the old cross-body ride, looking into the guillotine type of situation very much anymore. And
Powers is working it here. He's trying to. Now he goes the other way.
there he comes. Very close to getting points right here.
1. Now what's going to happen? Again?
Well, Powers needs to regain his position right here. He can't clean. He needs to regain his position right here.
Powers still has the leg. We have 25 seconds to go in this period. Johnson's
That's awful close to 2 for Johnson. That's right.
He got it. 6-5. So it's a match. A lot of riding time, though, for Johnson. Remember that. He rolls. He reverses.
Man, incredible. Very entertaining for the fans to watch this match, especially Powers.
Here we go again. 8-5. Big second period after almost scoreless first period.
Blue takes down.
Powers goes into the roll. And he was able to post Johnson right there and come around behind to take the 8-5 lead.
Offense now, guys. Come on. Don't wait. Don't wait.
How many times in the match do you have 2 takedowns and 4 reversals? That's what we've had so far.
Let's go.
The last 2 minutes.
I think the thing about Powers is if you're an opposing coach, you say, and you have a really solid wrestler, you say, well, we should be able to take that junk move away from him. We should be able to beat him. A lot of should we's, you know, should be able to. You just can't do it. Actually, Powers is very deceptive because he has a great sense of where he's at. He has good position, even though it's a little unorthodox. I'd say a little unorthodox is an understatement.
9-5 in favor of Powers, but Johnson's in on the leg. It's very close to the edge of the mat.
Keep wrestling him. Keep wrestling him.
And Powers is extraordinary in these kind of scramble situations if it comes to that. Out of bounds, no score. 9-5, Powers.
Hustle in, please. Hustle in, both, yeah.
177 in the National Wrestling Coaches Association All-Star Meet in Iowa City. If you just joined us, the red team is made up of largely Big 8 wrestlers, not entirely, but they're Iowa State, Oklahoma State. The blue team has been Iowa Hawkeyes, and here's UNI's Rich Powell. Tough move by Johnson, but you never know. Yes, takedown for Johnson. Tilt. Is he able to score?
Yes, he's able to score.
Big move by Johnson. A big move, but he's able to tie it with that. However, there's riding time. Now it's 10-9 in favor of Powers, and Powers has riding time.
Blue, you need injury time. Injury blue.
And Powers is injured here with only 30 seconds to go in this match.
See, that's the mental toughness of Johnson right there. He's able to stay in the match. He was able to look for opportunities, and he was able to execute when he got the window of opportunity right there.
Well, Rich Powell, I sure hope that #1 ranked man is not too badly injured. You got his bell rung a little bit, I think, maybe. Let's see what happened here.
There they go after each other. It's the... I didn't quite see it. It was a graze, maybe. He just had butter. But that's what it had to be.
There's Matt Johnson talking to the red team coaches in this all-star meet.
Matt was coached by his dad in high school. A lot of these kids were coached by their dads. Bill Demery, who coached Matt Demery, and you find that in some of the top wrestlers in the nation. They have the opportunity to wrestle for their fathers.
Mike Denny, the coach, the tall coach, and and there's the Rich Powers, coached by Hellickson and Turnbull in this all-star meet. Looks like he's not feeling the way he'd like to feel, but he's going back at it. He has 30 seconds to go to protect a 1-point lead. He also has riding time, and he will not lose it. So he's really ahead by 2 points. And Johnson has to get a takedown and keep it to get a tie.
Powers doesn't look like he knows where he's at, really. There's a warning right now, too. There's been a warning.
The Powers had been warned. Johnson, an inside trip, and he got the takedown.
Is that going to be a tie now?
No, with a penalty, he's going to win 11-10.
No.
Well, 11-11
yeah.
with the riding time.
Right.
I think the penalty was given because Powers was doing a penalty. Powers was penalized, and that was 1 point. And then that made the takedown enough for a tie.
Okay, here's the inside trip attempt. Powers tries to come back with an underhook.
I'm going to start the clock. Go ahead, start the clock.
And he covers it with takedown right there, covers the hips, and it looks like it's going to be overtime, but they're having, I didn't see the penalty.
No, there was
not,
not, as a matter of fact.
And so there was a takedown for 2 points, and then the riding time gave Powers 1 point. It's 11-11, and they'll start the overtime. But Powers is, quite frankly, he's out of it.
Yeah, he does not look like he's feeling well. I'm sorry if I made you confused everybody, including myself there, in describing that. There was no penalty at the end. Powers had been warned earlier. He was ahead 10-9, but he had riding time. And our next meet is going to feature the same teams that you're looking at, Iowa State versus UNI. They'll be wearing their own uniforms and not the all-star uniforms of the National Wrestling Coaching Association, the red and the blue. That'll be Sunday, 4:30 here on Iowa Public Television, our regular time. Now, I think a lot of people are out talking. In fact,
they're going to
Dan
stop
Gable
the match.
is out. I think they're concerned about Powers, and I don't believe they're going to let Powers go on. I don't think they're going to let him go into this overtime. He's just been dinged a little bit, I think, and I hope Rich is okay here. But they didn't settle this. It's 11-11, and this one will have to be defaulted to Matt Johnson. There's no sense in an all-star meet like this of putting Rich Powers in danger.